Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever found yourself thinking that the person you truly desire is just, well, completely out of your league?
Uh-huh.
Or maybe you feel like you're stuck in a dating rut, going on dates that simply aren't clicking, leaving you feeling kind of unfulfilled.
Yeah, that feeling.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into a really fascinating source that tackles exactly these questions. The book Updating: How to Get a Man or Woman Who Once Seemed Out of Your League by Leil Lowndes.
What's compelling about this material, I think, is how it frames finding a truly high-quality partner, what the author calls a prince or princess.
Right.
Not just as a stroke of luck, but as a uh, deliberate and strategic upgrade,
Yeah.
yeah, of your self-worth and your dating skills.
Yeah.
It's basically a call to seek quality over mere quantity in your most significant relationships.
Absolutely. And Leil Lowndes, the author, she claims to have distilled proven techniques from like hundreds of studies on love. So, if you're curious about actionable insights from social science on how to, well, elevate your dating game and maybe even yourself in the process,
Which is key.
exactly, then you're in for some surprising facts and genuinely insightful moments, I think. We'll be exploring what defines these princes and princesses,
Okay.
and crucially, the tactical advice offered to help you not just attract, but truly connect with them. So let's start at the very beginning. What does updating really mean, and who exactly are these princes and princesses we're talking about?
Well, the source defines a prince or princess as someone perceived as smarter, maybe better looking, more interesting, higher class, richer, or having more integrity.
Okay, the whole package.
Basically, yeah, a
Ah.
high-quality person who maybe until now seemed beyond your reach. And on the flip side, past or unsuitable partners are colorfully referred to as frogs.
Frogs,
Yeah.
right. And the very first critical step, according to the book, is to go cold turkey on frogs. Yeah, the principle is clear. You won't find your ideal partner until you've fully moved on from those old, unfulfilling connections.
Makes sense.
The author powerfully illustrates this with the story of Isabel, a talented fado singer. She was infatuated with a prince named Drum,
Okay.
but her strict upbringing made her hesitant to make a bold move. Instead, she kept Fernandez, her reliable but, uninspiring frog,
It's a
around.
safe bet.
Exactly, and eventually married him. The outcome was just heartbreaking. Fernandez became boring, Jean never reappeared, and Isabel lived with this profound regret, seeing it as the biggest mistake of her life.
Wow. Yeah, Isabel's story really highlights a core challenge.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard to ditch those familiar but unsuitable relationships?
Right.
The source points to two main hurdles. The fear of rejection, that ouch, hurts if a potential royal ignores you,
Mhm.
and just the sheer comfort of the familiar. Those frogs represent routine, maybe a bad habit that's hard to break. And this idea is actually supported by research the book mentions, showing that women who had recently received negative feedback about themselves
Okay.
were far more likely to like a man who asked them out than those feeling good about themselves. It suggests a sort of subconscious pull towards validation when self-esteem is low.
Okay, I see. When you're feeling down, you grab onto any validation.
Exactly.
So it's tough. So the path to a better mate certainly begins with clearing out the old. But there's a deeper, maybe uncomfortable truth underpinning all of this. What the book calls the horse trading principle of love.
Ah, yes. It's quite a stark idea, isn't it?
It really is.
The source contends that studies do indeed support the thesis that everything and everybody has a quantifiable value on the open market. This is rooted in the equity theory of love,
Equity theory?
yeah, or exchange theory. The premise is that people, consciously or maybe unconsciously, seek the best deal possible in love, much like in other aspects of life.
So like negotiation.
In a way, the more qualities you bring to the quote-unquote bargaining table, the better your potential match is. And relationships are more likely to progress to marriage if they feel truly equitable.
It's a provocative way to view love, almost like bartering.
It is. Yet,
Yeah.
the book immediately follows with the birds of a royal feather principle.
Okay, what's that?
Typically, the rich marry the rich, the beautiful marry the beautiful, and crucially, those with substantial qualities like strong character and intelligence almost always marry people with equally substantial qualities.
So similar attracts similar, especially on the deeper stuff.
That's the idea. It broadens our perspective.
Yeah.
It suggests that while there might be exceptions for, say, superficial qualities, a wealthy person might afford a partner with less money.
Right.
When it comes to truly deeper attributes like integrity or intellectual depth, similarity is pretty paramount for a lasting connection.
Which leads to that saying.
Exactly. You got to be one to get one, especially for those deeper qualities. And this leads straight into the book's technique, #8. Give yourself a personal checkup.
Okay, a self-assessment.
Yeah. It involves, frankly, assessing both your surface qualities, things like your appearance, how you talk, and your substantial ones, like integrity, confidence, spirituality.
Inner stuff.
Right. And then committing to making necessary improvements where you see a gap.
Let's transition into how these principles apply to attracting specific types of royals. Maybe starting with capturing a drop-dead gorgeous mate.
Okay.
You might instinctively think this is all about physical perfection, but this is where the book introduces a really compelling twist.
Yeah, it does. The source highlights technique, #22. Remember brains beat beefcake, especially for women seeking an attractive partner.
Interesting.
It emphasizes that a man's intelligence is often seen as more vital for, the potential of future children than just his physique.
Huh.
And here's a surprising fact. Many incredibly attractive people are actually dateless because others are simply too intimidated to approach them.
Wow, really? You just assume they have tons of dates.
Right. But apparently not always. Then there's also the intriguing technique, #23. Beware the buried jeans button.
Buried jeans button. What's that?
It suggests that these profound feelings of attraction can stem from deeply embedded responses to early life experiences, almost like psychological imprints.
Like subconscious triggers.
Exactly. The author uses the example of Jessica, a lingerie model, who found herself unconsciously drawn to a man named Fausto
Okay.
because his physical appearance uncannily resembled her beloved father. So it's not always a conscious choice. Sometimes our deepest instincts are just firing.
Wow. So how do you actually capture a gorgeous mate if you don't consider yourself, a looker?
Well, the source asserts that flattery rarely works with them.
Really, I think compliments would be key.
They're so used to admiration for their looks, apparently, that they crave appreciation for their personality.
Okay. Deeper stuff.
Right. A study cited in the book revealed that attractive people actually prefer those who initially had a negative impression of them. Yeah, but then developed a positive view after getting to know them. It suggests they value genuine admiration for their character over just, superficial compliments right off the bat.
So like earning their admiration.
Precisely. There's this story of Ginger, a flight attendant, who apparently lost a potential partner named Donald because she went overboard with early declarations of her admiration.
Ouch. Came on too strong.
Seems like it.
Okay, moving on to how to capture a rich or high-class mate. The source says that in America, class is not a dirty word, but it's often the forbidden thought.
Yeah, it's tricky territory. What's particularly insightful is how different social classes actually define class itself.
How so?
Well, the book explains that those lower on the socioeconomic ladder often define class simply as having money, just cash.
Makes sense.
The middle class might sort of hesitate to articulate it, but they suspect it involves money, education, and maybe profession. But those at the very top, the uppers or old money, they define it primarily in terms of values, taste, style, behavior, ideas. Money and education are seen as helpful, sure, but not the defining factors. They're incredibly discerning, looking deeper.
Beyond the surface.
Exactly. The author gives this really eye-opening account of her own blooper reel when dating Ken, who she mistakenly thought was starving artist, but who actually hailed from an extremely upper-class family.
No way.
Yeah. She recounts how her middle-class habits, like how she phrased things in conversation, or even stuff like her home furnishings, wall-to-wall carpeting, modern kitchen appliances, collectibles.
Things you'd think are nice.
Right. But they subtly signaled her as not quite being part of his world. It wasn't about being overtly crass, but about missing those unspoken cues of a deeply ingrained lifestyle.
Wow. Subtle stuff.
Very subtle. This really emphasizes the book's technique, #28. Let your digs convey class, not crass. It's not about being lavish, but about understated taste.
Understated. Got it.
And the same goes for cars. Technique, #29. Don't drive flashy wheels.
No.
Uppers, the source notes, often prefer understated practical vehicles like boring, blandly colored, heavy Oldsmobiles or Buicks or even a Jeep, hinting at a lifestyle of, remote drives and quiet comfort.
Not the Lambo, then.
Probably not. And the subtleties extend into language itself.
Like how you speak.
Yeah. The source points out middle-class word traps, like using affluent instead of rich,
Sure.
or purchase instead of buy, vocalist instead of singer.
Huh. Never thought about that.
Right. It also stresses speaking softly, kind of without imposing your presence, and always articulating your G's, no, going, or having,
Proper pronunciation.
basically. Which leads to an important question. Why go through all this effort?
Yeah, seems like a lot of work.
Well, Technique, #30, watch what you wish for, offers a stark warning.
Okay.
The story of Chantal, who married into immense wealth but felt completely out of place. She actually became an alcoholic recluse because she couldn't adapt to or genuinely embrace that high-class lifestyle.
Wow, that's heavy.
It really is. It underscores the importance of making sure the lifestyle actually aligns with your true desires and, your comfort level.
Be careful what you wish for, indeed. Okay, finally, let's consider how to find an honorable mate. This seems like where the you gotta be one to get one principle is especially potent.
Absolutely. Precisely. The source states that people generally marry someone who is similar to them in the deeper things in life. An honorable royal is looking for a partner with matching integrity.
Makes sense, like Sikhs like.
Exactly. The author shares her own story about Ryan, who initially seemed ideal but displayed these subtle red flags. A blocked caller ID, nervousness at immigration, this mysterious period of estrangement from his family.
Little thing.
Little things, yeah. But these small, seemingly insignificant inconsistencies accumulated, eventually revealing a fundamental lack of integrity that, well, doomed their relationship.
So you gotta look closely.
You do. This underscores Technique, #38. Take an integrity X-ray, where you rigorously self-assess your own character strengths and weaknesses and commit to improving them. Be the person you want to attract.
Right. Walk the walk. And interestingly, integrity can even be a powerful form of bait.
How so?
Well, the story of Bill, who was good-looking, educated, wealthy, but struggled to find a high-quality partner online.
Okay.
It wasn't until he started highlighting aspects of his character, like his devotion to his ex-wife and daughters after his divorce, that he began attracting individuals with equally high standards.
Showcasing the substance.
Exactly.
And this ties into a broader shift, The dating landscape is evolving. The source references a 2002 Wall Street Journal article about an impending woman shortage for men.
Really?
Yeah, coupled with women earning more money than ever before. Women no longer need to marry just for economic security.
Right. The dynamics changed.
Definitely. Instead, the book suggests they often invest their biological income, so to speak, with a mate who is loving, honest, responsive. Prioritizing these positive qualities maybe over sheer wealth.
So what men need to offer is changing too.
It raises that important point, yes, about the shifting priorities in modern dating.
And for women, the source offers some rather practical and slightly humorous advice for assessing a man's integrity.
Oh yeah, what's that?
It suggests you sniff around like a drug-addicted German shepherd in his home.
Seriously?
Yeah. Checking medicine cabinets, dressers, even under the bed for any incriminating evidence.
Wow. Okay, maybe a bit extreme, but the point is, look for consistency.
For consistency, yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's explore how to capture a magical one-of-a-kind mate, or ex-royals, as the author calls them.
The creatives, the originals.
Exactly. The truly unique individuals.
What's fascinating here is that ex-royals aren't necessarily born exes. They often choose to flee, like middle-class suburbs or even extremes of wealth or poverty, to pursue their art or creative work. They frequently become self-taught in the process. They prioritize unique experiences and personal vision over conventional security.
So less about the 9 to 5.
Much less. They might live in unconventional places, abandoned churches, homemade houseboats, apparently even a $300,000 tree house is mentioned.
The tree house, okay.
Their natural habitat often involves eclectic coffee shops, where they reflect, connect, capture their ideas. Ultimately, their talent is their defining feature, their trump card.
The author shares this brilliant example of technique #16 adapted for ex-royals from a man named Jeff.
Okay, what did Jeff do?
He wanted to win a date with a Princess X at a charity auction. He didn't just bid high, he created an entire Cadillac-themed date package.
A what?
Cadillac.
Yeah.
Specifically tailored for cat lovers. It included a chauffeur-driven car to the zoo's lion pavilion, a cat art exhibit, a cat-themed dinner, even catnip dessert.
Tickles.
Isn't it? He came in second only to a Chicago Bears quarterback, proving that, when it comes to ex-royalty, creativity, humor, and brains beat a big bankroll every time.
That's a great story. It shows understanding the person, not just flashing cash. But while ex-royals can be wonderfully unconventional, the source does offer a word of caution.
Oh.
It notes that some might take their unconventionality to extremes, maybe focusing more on shock value than genuine connection. It's a reminder that unique doesn't always mean compatible.
Good point. Substance over style, even for the stylish.
Right. However, for those who are genuinely creative, the book suggests they often enjoy uh, copulating in creative ways in unusual places.
Oh my.
Yeah, moving beyond traditional settings like beds to explore intimacy in kayaks, or even airplane lavatories, apparently.
Keeping it interesting, I guess. So the core lesson with an ex-royal then is
Be yourself, your most interesting self. Cultivate genuine curiosity, express your creativity, show passion for life, maybe confidently sharing stories or items from, exotic travels or unique hobbies.
be authentic, but your most authentic, interesting self.
Exactly. And this leads us directly to the crucial confidence factor.
Ah, confidence. Always comes back to that.
Pretty much. The
Yeah.
source identifies it as the absolutely most important quality for attracting and keeping an honorable, a rich or high class, a gorgeous, or a creative person.
The most important one.
Yeah. But it's not about being smug or arrogant. It's described as a quiet self-confidence,
Okay.
a deep internal assurance that you are a beautiful and worthwhile person deserving of a terrific mate.
A quiet inner knowing.
That's it. And a lack of self-confidence can truly sabotage relationships, even when you do find a seemingly great partner.
How so?
Well, the story of Rob, a handsome self-made man who built a successful leather business.
Okay.
He was attracted to Raquel, an artist with designer genes, as the book puts it. But his own insecurity about being less educated led him to self-sabotage.
Oh.
Yeah. He eventually just blurted out something like, "Raquel, damn it, your big deal friends are always inviting us to their hoity-toity parties. And you're crapping about my language."
Yikes. Pushed her away.
Totally. It highlights how those internal doubts can just undermine external opportunities.
Definitely.
And what's quite insightful here is the link the author draws between our psychology and physical well-being.
Mind-body connection.
Exactly. She describes a cruise ship production of My Fair Lady where the cast only got sick after the final performance, not during the grueling 14-week run. It suggests that intense mental focus and confidence can almost physically shield us, and their absence can leave us vulnerable.
Interesting theory.
So to counter tension and insecurity, the source offers technique, #47. Practice the triple P technique.
Triple P.
Probing, pinpointing, purging. It's a 3-step process. You probe for physical tension, pinpoint where it is, and then consciously purge or release it.
Like a body scan and release.
Sort of, yeah. You do it throughout your day. The idea is that through repetition, you cultivate a more relaxed body, a place where insecurity and tension have a tough time getting into.
Building resilience from the inside out.
That's the aim.
So, after exploring all these paths, finding these different royals, what does this ultimately mean for your long-term happiness in dating? Here's where the book offers a particularly, profound perspective.
Okay.
You might think a richer, more attractive, or more imaginative mate will inherently make you happier, right? That's the goal.
Well, surprisingly, recent research mentioned in the source suggests otherwise.
Really? How?
Psychologists have found that we adapt really rapidly to new baselines, whether it's a better car, a snazzy outfit, a nicer apartment.
The hedonic treadmill idea.
Exactly. We get used to it. It's the little uppers above that baseline that truly provide lasting happiness moments.
So the day-to-day stuff.
Pretty much. Which means, in the long run, you will not be happier with a richer mate than with a poorer one, or an attractive spouse versus a plain one. The baseline shifts.
That's counterintuitive to the whole premise, almost.
It seems so, but it's about long-term sustainable happiness versus the initial thrill. The author beautifully illustrates this with the story of Richard.
Okay, Richard.
He initially felt like a lifetime flop after failing the bar exam twice. Years later, he found immense happiness buying, fixing up, and selling country houses with his wife, who was described as plain in appearance, but far from plain in talent.
Ah.
He discovered as much pleasure, apparently, in selling a renovated house as he ever would have in winning a legal case. It highlights our often poor, effective forecasting.
Our inability to predict what actually makes us happy.
Exactly. We're not great at it.
Which raises a crucial point. Are we often blinded by someone's impressive assets, their looks or money, to the extent that we overlook their flaws?
That's a real danger. The source warns that arrogance, maybe adultery, even a lack of sustained accomplishment can sometimes be more common among phenomenally beautiful people.
Why is that?
Well, constant admiration and easy pursuit can breed arrogance. And if everything comes easily, maybe the drive to strive harder diminishes.
The easy path trap.
Could be.
Yeah.
Similarly, extremely honorable or creative mates, while desirable, might possess such lofty ideals or unique interests
Yeah.
that they could leave you feeling as low as a snake's belly or as dull as a dog biscuit if your own qualities don't truly balance out the connection, if you don't share those ideals or interests.
So it's about the balance, the compatibility.
Absolutely. Which brings us back to the resounding message from this entire deep dive. Equal is best.
Equal is best.
The source firmly states, no sociology researcher would place bets on an enduring relationship between partners whose qualities don't balance out.
So that equity needs to be there in the long run.
It seems crucial. The author brings it all together by referencing that Rolling Stones song, You Can't Always Get What You Want, but offers this profound twist. The problem is you can't always know what you want.
So self-knowledge comes first.
It's a call for deeper self-awareness before you even start seeking external validation or that perfect partner.
Wow. Okay. So this deep dive into updating has truly peeled back the layers on what it means to find a high-quality partner.
It really has.
From that foundational step of moving past, the frogs.
Ditching the frogs.
Right. To understanding the subtle signals of class, the profound importance of genuine integrity, and that quiet self-confidence. It's clear that updating is as much about upgrading yourself as it is about upgrading your relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if we look at the broader implications, it consistently circles back to that final technique. #49. Do a little soul searching.
Soul searching.
Yeah. The core message just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
To catch a prince or princess, you got to be one to get one.
Be one to get one.
By consciously working on enhancing both your service qualities and, maybe more importantly, your substantial ones. And by really understanding what you truly desire in an equitable, lasting connection, you inherently become a better version of yourself.
So the process itself is valuable. The book likens it to the princess and the pea, right? Your ideal prince or princess might discern even the slightest no-no we've discussed if it means you're not a real royal to them. It's about fitting into their world and them into yours in a deeply authentic way.
That mutual recognition, that balance.
Exactly.
So, as you reflect on this deep dive, maybe consider this. How might consciously cultivating the specific qualities you admire in others lead you not just towards maybe a more fulfilling relationship,
Yeah.
but perhaps to a deeper and more profound sense of fulfillment within yourself, regardless of who you end up attracting?